Welcome to Sketching Up. I'm Chris, that's Matt, and today we are going to talk about The Boys series. I almost said season, that's why I paused there for a second.
Yeah.
Series finale.
Can you believe it's done?
I can and I can't.
Yeah.
I totally can believe it's done because, like, it's been going on for a while and it's had its ups and downs for sure, but I can't believe it's over because of the way it ended.
Yeah. We'll get into that. We'll 100% get into all of that because I do have good things to say and I have bad things to say. But it is over. It's weird to me that it's over because I feel like it's been around for so long. But
it has, by the way, it has been around for so long. It's 5 seasons, but like probably almost 10 years.
Yeah, spread out. It was really spread out. But yeah, no, it was quite a finale, that's for sure. How are you? How's everything?
I am good. I've been traveling a lot, so I am tired.
Yeah.
Did some work right before this. Got home, went on a run, then did some work, then hopped on with you. Feeling good.
Good.
This weekend, Comicpalooza starts today, the day of release. My panel is on Sunday. I actually had some people reach out that I do not know that said they're going to be there, which is really cool.
Awesome.
So that's going to be cool. So if you are in the Houston area, I guess I may as well plug it since we're talking about it.
Yeah.
If you are in the Houston area, if you're going to Comicpalooza Sunday at 4:15, that's May 24th at 4:15 p.m., I will be on the main podcast stage talking about Mad Props, talking about interviews, all that fun stuff.
Fine.
So come say hi. If you're there for the whole weekend, you can see the cast of Daredevil, which eventually we'll get into Daredevil as well. I'm sure.
You gotta finish it.
I gotta finish it. Hey, we'll get into it in a second, but the fact I'm completely done with The Boys, because if you remember last episode, I only saw episode 1.
Yeah.
Last time we recorded, I only saw episode 1, and I had finished it. So
that's a good job. That's a good
job. Thanks, traveling. That it did help a lot. I watched it a lot on planes. But anyway, 4:15 p.m. George R. Brown Convention Center in Houston, Texas. It's Comicpalooza. You can get your tickets online now at comicpalooza.com or find me on social media, Mad Props on social media, and get your tickets there. Hope to see you there.
I would 100% be there if a ticket isn't $785 to fly from Philadelphia to Houston, which is the most ridiculous thing. And I even looked at like what the seating arrangement would, and I would be in the back of the plane. That is the most ridiculous thing.
Tickets are not cheap right now. I'm lucky.
But I'll be there in spirit.
Thank you. I was lucky that I did get a ticket to Arizona. I went to a bachelor party over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I did get a ticket really early out. My overall flight was like $200. I mean, if you were trying to get that ticket now, you'd be paying an extra. I actually had to switch the flight because I had to go to New York on Monday. So I had to switch the flight from leaving Monday to leaving Sunday. And it cost me, I think, about $100 just to switch one day back.
That's insane.
Prices are high right now. It's tough to fly. That's why I'm glad I got all the tickets I need right now for all the things I have to do. Thank goodness. Can't fly anywhere.
Yeah. But yeah, let's talk about what's going on right now, because one of the big things, and I know we want to get into The Boys right away, but one of the big things that came out just recently is that Marvel is no longer doing the publishing part, like not saying that they're a publisher anymore. They're more wrapping it into Marvel's, like the business of the comic is getting wrapped more into Disney. So it's getting more corporate, where for example, like DC Comics and like the DCEU, which James Gunn runs, is two completely separate entities.
That's what Marvel and the MCU were as well for a long most time. Of the run of the MCU, they were two completely separate entities that sometimes story lines would dip their toes into each other.
Yeah, they would bleed into it. But now, since their head editor left, they want to wrap it all together and have it as one big thing, like MCU and comics in one. And to me, that's a load of bullshit. That's going to especially with Disney screaming that they want to purchase an AI company and have AI through Disney, it's going to ruin the quality of work we're going to see from Marvel. And again, I'm not a huge Marvel reader, and I've said it on the pod before, but I respect the artists and the writers who are writing all these stories and penciling all these stories. That them doing this, it seems like they're just making it more corporate, and I'm just not about it. And I really hope these are just like floating ideas and it's not actually going to happen. But we may be in a point where they're going to, I guess, for layman's terms, they're going to subsidize Marvel Comics within Disney.
Yeah. I mean, the comics, like, as much as comics still are around, I feel like they're just not as especially Marvel. I had a couple new Marvel comics over the years, and I just kind of fall out of the storylines pretty quickly. Even the Spider-Man series I was in for a while, and I kind of fell out of that one as well. I just don't think that their focus is just not there, and it hasn't been there for a long time. Their biggest stuff is always collaborations, like
Yeah.
some rapper being in one of the comics, or this storyline goes around this actor. Like those, if you think back, like the biggest releases, like their storyline releases just haven't really been as big as they used to be. I don't think.
Yeah, no, the thing is, it's like, well, the absolute Batman has sold over 1 million copies. So DC's doing something right. Marvel's not doing something right.
Yeah, and they usually do kind of like go back and forth like that too, um, where one is up and one is down. But I just think that DC's keeping it separated, and Marvel has had it separated, but they've been the same company for so long. And I think Marvel overall has just kind of been shooting itself in the foot in many ways. We can go on for a long time about it, but we already
Yeah.
talked about like the movies and TV shows, how like they oversaturated it like crazy, and then now they're kind of under saturation. Like they're not really going too much into different things, and they don't really know the sweet spot. I don't think they really know where the story's going still, personally, based
Mhm.
on like stuff that's come out. I think they have a couple different stories going a couple different ways, and they don't I want to see how they connect it all back together. Honestly, Marvel's just been disappointing, so it's hard to talk about because I love Marvel and I love Spider-Man,
Yeah.
and they've just been kind of in all ways, like I just said, like the new Spider-Man series I read for a good portion of it, probably 40 issues in, and then like I just couldn't keep going because of some of the decisions they were making in that one, which was the
Yeah.
mainline Spider-Man, which is always one of their more popular ones. On the flip side of that, like the movies and the TV shows, I have my opinions about the directions they should have gone. I don't think, and they're coming back to those directions as well, where I'm like, oh, they
Right.
probably shouldn't have killed everybody off. Well, if the ads have shown anything, they're all coming back. So,
Yep.
anyway, didn't answer
Yeah.
any of your
No.
questions, but
Yeah. I think it's the same thing that I had on here with they had the Star Wars, the Mandalorian and Grogu movie come out, and there wasn't a big hype because one, there wasn't a lot of marketing for it, at least in the beginning. And then I think in the last like 4 weeks, they were pounding us with it.
yeah,
And we haven't seen the Mandalorian Grogu since like 4 years ago when the last season came out, 3 years ago. And I'm more excited for going to see He-Man, Masters of the
mm-hmm.
Universe, than I'm just going to wait for Mandalorian the Grogu to come on to Disney Plus, because I've watched that series on there. Like I don't really have any motivation, and I'm a huge Star Wars guy, to go and see this movie. But like, I want to go see He-Man. I think that's going to be a fun movie to go see. Here it's like, well, I think they honestly should have just made this a TV, like another season. Like this movie should have just been a season of the show, where, because it's, one, not getting great reviews, and two, I really, I forgot about the Mandalorian for a very long time. They had such a
Yeah,
great great season that they ended on, and then it just kind of went dormant. And I know there's a bunch of shit going on with Disney and Lucasfilms in between that, but like we haven't seen anything. So like I'm not really that excited to go see it. Like I feel like I have to watch the whole last season of The Mandalorian to just go see this movie. And I just don't want to go through all that. Like I'm ready to just wait for it to come on streaming. And it's just one of those things.
It goes kind of into what the main topic of this podcast is about to be, because I've told you, I felt that way about The Boys. Like I was so excited for The Boys, but it was hard to continue to get excited because by the time another season came out, you just completely forget what happened in the last season or the season before that. Like the only memorable season where I remember basically everything that happened was season 1. Like I remember everything that happened in season 1, but I had to be reminded of everything else as each season came across.
Yeah.
I think the big thing with these big blockbuster movies that are, Star Wars, Marvel, even He-Man, which might be a good movie, is that they're just using so many IPs to push movies that they're making movies that could probably be like an Amazon series or a Disney Plus series or something like that.
Yeah.
They know their IPs, they know people will go see, but that's a problem. Like when you're making an IP a movie because you need to get butts and seats, that's not a good thing for that IP. Like if you really want to grow an IP and keep an IP moving, you either need to make it movies but make them good, or make the correct calls on where they should be. And I think that's like been the biggest problem with Marvel. Like some characters that are on TV shows probably should just had a movie. Some characters that are in movies probably should just had a TV show.
Yeah.
Some characters shouldn't have had anything. Like we didn't need any backstory to this person. Old Marvels, there were characters that people loved that got their backstory in other movies. Like
Yeah.
some people didn't need full movies and TV shows.
Exactly.
Like
It's one of those things with these IPs of these properties. They're just not making the right moves with them. And I think because it leads into my other thing is, you know how much of a Tubi lover I am. I've been watching Tubi like crazy. I stayed up last night and I watched both Silence of the Hills. I didn't go to bed until 4 a.m. because of Tubi. Okay.
Damn. Yeah.
Really
it's
great.
Tubi's fault. They didn't go to bed till 4
I blame
a.m.
Tubi. So they're making a Scooby-Doo anime.
I kind of saw this.
I am so excited for it because you know how much of an anime fan I am. You know how much I am. And I think it would work out really, really well. And they're bringing Matthew Lillard back for Shaggy, and the original voice for Scooby is going to be in it. So it's going to be really good, and I'm excited for it. But I'm also a little excited because I didn't even tell you this off air. So last week, I saw a tweet that Tubi put out, and it was like, can you fill out this thing and tell us why you love Tubi? I didn't really read the tweet, but since I'm such a huge Tubi lover, I filled it out. Well, I got interviewed by a casting agent, and I recorded myself talking about Tubi, and they have all the stuff, and I may be in a Tubi commercial.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they're going to shoot commercials in June, and I did it today, the day we're recording, and we just went over what I'm watching on Tubi and what I love about it and everything. And she was like, this is really, really good stuff. Like this, I answered all the questions before she can even ask it. And she was like, you even went above what we were looking for. And so she's like, you're kind of going to the first, going in there, and you're going to be, really stapled, I guess, in there. And it looks good. So I'm hoping to hear back next week. And
so is this a, like, you're going on camera thing, or is this a voice thing?
Camera.
Wow. Look at you.
Yeah.
You're going to be on a Tubi commercial.
So, yeah. So like I like just did it all, and she was like, yeah, that looks really good. So why don't you just send me some stuff? And I sent her the stuff that we did on the Tubi episode. I sent her some clips.
Okay.
because I talked about Sketching Up. I was like, I talked about Tubi. We love Tubi on Sketching Up, you know. And then I sent her, you know, just pictures. I sent her pictures of us at the Montclair Film Festival because they want to see how much I love film. And then I sent her pictures of, you know, me at a comic book shop and stuff like that. So hopefully we hear back and I get the part to go up to New York City and do some commercial shooting.
I hope you do too. You'll have to send that to us when you get there so we can push it.
Well, I'm going to talk to the
Matt
Tubi people.
Tubi.
So I want to talk to the Tubi people when I get there and see if we can have Tubi as a sponsor for the show.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah,
we love Tubi.
I told her, I was like, we were obsessed with them grabbing all the Hanna-Barbera TV shows and all the Cartoon Network TV shows. And if we get a sponsor, we'll do episode runs. We'll go and we'll talk about Dexter. We'll talk about
Tubi.
Yeah. Oh, I did talk about how I love the entrance. Like it's such like a thing that hits us. Like, oh man, that is right it. And I told a story that we were at a bar with my girlfriend Carrie and her mother, and we were waiting for a birthday. We were waiting to go to another restaurant, and they had Tubi on, and they put on
the bar had Tubi on?
Yeah, so because like there was no sports going on, so they were just putting something on the TV and they had Tubi. And so they put on Jennifer's Body. And the the bartenders all got into a huge conversation about Jennifer's Body as a cult classic horror comedy movie and how much we love Tubi. Like we talked about
Jennifer's Body at a bar is a choice.
It is a choice. It is a choice. It's a choice, but it's also a very good conversation starter. So if you're at a party,
it definitely is.
If you're at a party, throw Tubi on, find a movie that's a little obscure, a cult classic maybe, and you got yourself a conversation starter for that party. Okay.
And everybody, Tubi is free.
Free.
Biggest one that's free.
Cha-ching, it's free. And I talked about it.
This, by the way.
What?
And we get nothing from this. He's going to try to get a sponsor. We get nothing from this. But
the best part is I told her that like they had the show as Samurai Warriors, which is an old it's an old anime, but it was shown on Toonami when Toonami first came out. And I've always wanted to watch it with the English dub because that's what I'm used to. And Crunchyroll doesn't have the rights to the English dub of it, but Tubi does. And I've just been binging it. And I walked into the Bottle Shop, which is a place I go buy beer right around the corner from my place. They freaking had Tubi Samurai Warriors on TV. I bought a 6-pack of beer plus one extra because I cracked that beer at the bar and I was just watching that and watching the rest of that episode.
That's amazing.
That's
amazing that this bar sounds like it would fit right in with this podcast.
Yes.
Something that didn't fit right in was the ending of The Boys.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get into that because I do have major issues, but I think what is your take on it? Because we didn't really talk about it, but what was your take?
No, we didn't. I wanted to save it for when we got here. I did not enjoy it totally. I thought there were parts that were fine, but the biggest thing where I didn't enjoy it was like that final battle scene.
Yeah.
There was no scorched earth, which was said how many times in the entire run. It was marketed. He literally says it as he's walking in.
How about those two pictures that they marketed where like Homelander's looking at Earth and there's like nuclear bombs going off,
White House,
and then Butcher's walking out of like a fallen vault. The vault building is completely collapsed, and he's walking out of the rubble. Like none of that happened.
None of that happened. Not only did none of that happen, they didn't even fully destroy the room nor the White House they were in. Like they didn't destroy either of those. Like there was not even a scorched room. I made this joke yesterday on the phone with a friend. They didn't even scorch their clothes. Their clothes were perfectly intact. Like they didn't even scorch their own clothes. He was getting shot with freaking laser beams, and he didn't get nothing. His clothes were completely fine at the end of it. So the whole battle scene was like really, really, really a letdown. And I think it led to everything else. I didn't think, by the way, I don't think there needs to be spoilers for that part. Spoilers for the rest of it. If you haven't seen it, watch the final episode and then come back. I didn't think Frenchie had to die.
Yeah, no, I thought that was
is
such
this
a
Rose
wasted.
on the door again? Like, there's not enough room. Fucking yes, there is. There was plenty of room in the little thing they hid in. Where he could have
just snuck in there. Yeah,
yeah. What are we talking about?
And he can't see through that. He couldn't use his like X-ray vision is blocked by like aluminum or some shit like that. So like you can't see anything.
And they tried to make it, well, because if you think of X-rays, right, like they put the lead. I'm assuming it was lead, right? Don't they put lead in front of it or something like that so you can't see, so it doesn't go through? Anyway, but then they made it seem like because he was out of there, and like Homelander starts focusing up on this hatch that he knocks, and then that's how he dies. Like, I don't know. That part was stupid. I didn't think that needed to happen.
Out of all the characters to die, it really, Frenchie was not the one I picked out of all of them.
I'm not totally shocked, but like,
I would have picked, honestly, I would have picked Kimiko over Frenchie, to be honest.
Yeah, but they needed her for the end, right? Like,
yeah. But like, and that's the thing that like really upsets me because for all the characters in this show, the one that gets the worst ending is Soldier Boy, and who has the power to depower
anyone,
Homelander,
anyone,
but Homelander specifically, he gets. Out of all the things, like he is the man's man. He knows how to fight. He knows all this. He gets choked out by Homelander, and then we don't see him again. How? Why? Like after learning about him,
I gotta imagine they're setting him up for whatever spinoff they're gonna do. I know they're doing one.
It's Vault Rising, but it's about Vault before all. It's about Vault in the beginning.
I have a feeling there's going to be a different one as well. They left a bunch of doors open. All the Gen V kids left the doors open there.
But they canceled Gen V.
Well, they canceled Gen V because the guy died.
Who died?
One of the people. I haven't seen Gen V. I was talking to a friend on the phone. He said one of the people died, and like they were building a story. One of the actors died. So they were building a story around him, and that's why season 2 feels so rushed as well, because they had to fit the rest of the storyline into season 2. We could fact check that because I was talking to my friend about. I've never seen Gen V to begin with.
I only watched the first season.
I had an understanding of what was going on when they showed up. I'm like, oh, they must be from Gen V. Like I started to get like I didn't really feel like I needed to even see it. I understood what was going on. I understood.
They didn't need to be in the final episode or any episode going forward. Like they did nothing.
So I'll continue with what my friend said on. Hold on, I'm gonna also fact checked the cancellation thing.
Yeah, but my big thing was that Gen V, even if someone did pass away, it was such a wasted show that even if someone passed away, they could have integrated those characters into the story a little more to get us on the level of the boys' like story, so they could do a little more. They did nothing. They were just like extras, honestly, at this point. And then my other big thing was I really feel like they downgraded Ryan. Like Ryan is the son of Homelander, and we see him get his ass absolutely beat by Homelander, and you're like, okay, yeah, obviously he can't beat Homelander right now, but they kind of whitewashed him in this show where he finally comes in that final battle, and he holds his own with Busher and with Kimiko and everything, but like he just felt incomplete to me. Like he just felt like he's just like there, honestly. I don't know how any better way to explain it, but he just seems like he was just there, and he needed to be in that final battle because of who he is. And I get like, look, he's going to probably be with MM. Like he's definitely, MM took him in and he's going to be his guardian, and like he's going to be the better version of Homelander, more of a Superman type person. But the way that they did his story, like it just seemed like he was just always pushed to the background. And then they give him this big thing with Butcher saying like, I don't want to be around you because you're a horrible person too, just like my father. That makes sense. But then it's just like, you guys just kind of left him in the dust a little bit because he was such a focal point in the beginning of the series. And he just kind of turns into this, like, all right, we're going to put him in there for a little bit more dynamic with Homelander. We're like his story with Homelander when he was living at Vault and everything was good because like he's seeing how fucked up everything is. Like that's great. And then once he leaves Homelander, it's like, okay, what is he doing? Like, is he not? He doesn't like Homelander, so shouldn't he be like training to take down Homelander? Shouldn't he be like doing something so like he's like becomes better?
I got an answer for that really quickly. So Chance Perdomo, it wasn't the leading factor of cancellation, but he died in a motorcycle accident on his way to start filming for season 2 of Gen V.
So I remember hearing about that.
So he passed away. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure I got that story right. I think the reason he wasn't training is because he was Homelander's son, and one of the biggest things about Homelander was all of his power came from his powers. In reality, he was very weak and very scared and a wuss and all that stuff, as you see at the very end of the show, which I thought that part was fine. I thought like him like begging and pleading and all, now that he doesn't have actual power.
That was great. That was like that was Anthony, because I think Anthony Starr was the star of this whole show. Like Anthony Starr 100%. As Homelander was amazing. He was the best, and he showed how much he was the best. As soon as Homelander loses his power, he turns into this wimpy, like scared little child.
Yeah, which is exactly why I think Ryan doesn't train or anything like that, because he is part Homelander, starts to be trained by Homelander. So like he knows he's more powerful than him, so he doesn't want to train. He wants to hide. He doesn't want to show himself. It's the same thing that happened to start the series and at the end there, right? Like Homelander knew that they had the virus, so he didn't leave the tower. He was scared to leave the tower knowing he could die. Also, they found the virus for it to really mean nothing.
Yeah.
It meant nothing at the end of the day. Like they didn't even use it. I get like he put it in the water system, whatever, but they didn't do anything there. Like it didn't have anything to do at the end of to stopping Homelander. Like it didn't kill Soldier Boy. Like it really did nothing for the entirety of its existence in the series. Yeah,
because as soon as Homelander got V1,
that was it. Like it was over. Yeah, okay, cool. It was over like, at that point.
It's over, and it's like, all right, that's kind of a rushed version of this. And I feel like getting V1 for Homelander should have been a little bigger of a deal. Like he should have been able to control at least America without getting all these like these like mind readers and shit to listen to everybody. Like if he gets V1 and he's the ultimate being, the ultimate superhero, he should be able to take over America exactly how like Injustice Superman did it, or like any other big character, like hero that goes bad, takes over a world. he should have been able to do that as soon as he got V1 and not had to deal with anybody else. Like, he didn't need to deal with anybody. Like, he didn't need preaching.
They tried to make it seem like it was fear why people were like they were really pushing that narrative, but they never really showed why it was fear. Like, he didn't really do anything.
No, because he was just sitting
fear
in the White House and he didn't like show anybody fear. He didn't do any of that because they went on this narrative that he wanted everybody to think he was he was God. And like, if you're God, like, you should do something to show them. Like, if you go into the Old Testament, God shows himself a lot and he does not let a lot of people live. Like,
well, that was also part of it, right? Like, he's a god, but to show he's not, he doesn't show the traits of a god, right? He shows kind of the opposite of the traits of a god. And that's why the whole time they're saying you are not a god for this, and that.
So
I thought the end half of it, first of all, the last episode could have been 2 hours easily because there's a lot of stuff that was definitely rushed along. But it probably could have been one more season with the way the storyline was going from the episode 4 or maybe let's say 6 to 8 were very sped up.
Oh yeah.
Like things were overlooked. Like how you know, like I said, they get the virus and that means nothing, or the thing that killed them means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of rush along the part where Kimiko gets the power.
Yeah.
Sage getting an ending where she doesn't die or anything, she just gets to live
Sage
the way she wants is bullshit.
Yeah, Sage should have died.
It's so stupid. It's like Dexter leaving and at the end of Dexter. Like, he doesn't get caught, he doesn't die, he just gets to leave. It's like, what?
Yeah.
It's gonna be something else.
How? That's why I think having the ending of the Boys comic would have been a lot better. The ending of the comic, spoilers to anybody
explain it. I haven't, but please explain it.
So at the end, you are in the White House and Homelander becomes president. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's the final confrontation between Butcher and Homelander, and they're both ready to just kill each other because Homelander has turned America into shit, everything. What you find out is that all the horrible shit that Homelander has done wasn't actually the Homelander Butcher has been going after. It's been a clone of Homelander who is Black Noir. Black Noir shows up at the end and takes off his mask finally and talks, and you see it's a clone, and he's the one who's been doing all the shit because Vought found a way to kind of shut down the people facing Homelander. Like, he goes to sleep, and the Homelander who is in the Black Noir suit puts on Homelander's suit and does all the horrible shit. He kills Butcher's wife. He does all of that. He is the one who does it all.
So and Homelander was actually
just a pawn.
Not evil.
Yeah. And he was led to believe that he is this person because everyone's telling him, oh, you did this, you did that, you did this. And it drives him insane because he technically can't remember doing any of this. And then the Homelander clone, who is Black Noir, admits everything. And the last battle is between Homelander and the clone, Black Noir. They beat each other half to death. And the people facing Homelander wins. And he's like on his deathbed after winning this. And that's when Butcher comes in with the crowbar. That's why he was handed the crowbar in the show. And that's why he puts it into his head and cracks it, because that's what happens in the comics. He just goes in and he says, this is for my wife. And he just cracks it.
Yeah, this is for Becca. And
yeah.
He does it.
And he just does that and he just blows his head off. And that is also in front of everybody because all of this is happening at the White House. So there's a bunch of news choppers and everything watching this all happen.
So the regular Homelander kills Black Noir Homelander, and then Butcher kills the other Homelander. So they're
Yeah.
both dead.
Yeah, they're both dead. But in the comics, they also take down Vought. Vaught's not there anymore. It's like pretty much destroyed. And in
Can't
the comics,
can't do that. Can't do that with spin-offs on the way.
yeah, and like a
No, I
lot
thought at the end
of
of the comic, Edgar takes over
yeah,
Vought
he
again.
starts a new Vought.
Okay.
But then it's like a lot of the boys are not around, like they die. And the only one who's alive is Huey.
How did Butcher die? Same. Was it the same way? I saw
it's
something
the same
that
way. It's the same way.
I saw
like
something
him
at
and
the end was
Huey,
very faithful to the comic.
Yeah, so him and Huey get into an argument, and they're both like kind of fighting each other, and it's the same thing. There is a virus, and there's a bomb, but like it's not like in the sprinkler system. It's a bomb that would go off, and it's pretty much like an atom bomb that has the virus in it, and he would kill people and all of the soups. So it wouldn't just be just the soups; it would be everybody, and they battle, and like they fall off, like a building, and Huey survives, and Butcher like hits the ground. So technically Huey does kill him in the comics, just not the same way as in the show.
And everybody else, Mother's Milk, Frenchie, Kimiko, Starlight, they're all gone in the comic.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head. We'll have to go back to that because I have to reread like the ending of that. But I'm pretty sure Kimiko, Mother Milk, and Frenchie are all dead. They already died.
Yeah.
Because like if you think about it, what they did, like they sent them to those like Homelander camps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they should have been dead once they went there. Like, and I'm pretty sure like there's kind of the same thing in the comic books, but I'm not 100% sure.
I'm looking right now to see if I can just see.
It's been a very long time since I read the comics. I should have reread it before the ending of this season.
Only two main characters survive: Huey Campbell and Annie January. Everybody else is
everyone's dead. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Butcher kills Mother's Milk, Frenchie, and Kimiko.
Yep. Oh, he has a darker story in the boys comic.
I've heard that as well. I just didn't enjoy the comic that much. I tried reading it. I actually bought it for my friend who got me into the show in the first place. I just saw him last weekend. I told him on the phone after, because I watched the last episode after we saw each other last weekend. I was like, honestly, we should have watched it while we were together because we watched the entire first season together. I mean, dude, it was like 10 years ago. It's so crazy.
Dude, the first season was so good.
It was so good. It was so long ago.
Yeah.
Like I was in my early 20s when that started.
If you look at like side by side pictures of Homelander from season 1 and Homelander from this past seaon, you just see like they aged. They aged.
Well, you see it the most with MM. I mean, because he had the weight gain, weight loss, but the weight loss made him look a lot older as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And so I get why they wanted, like, especially in the TV show, why they wanted MM to stay alive. Like he was kind of like the conscious of the group. Like even though he had that thing where he wanted to kill Soldier Boy, kind of the same way that Butcher wants to kill Homelander. But he was still that morality character that was like, we just need to do this the right way type of person. And I get why they wanted him to stay alive. And I'm fine with that. And I'm glad, like the comics, Huey and Annie are still alive. Like that was good. But like if Frenchie needed to die, I feel like Kimiko needed to die also. Like it just made more sense if they both died together. Like, and I know because of the storyline that they needed Kimiko to do that, but like, I get what you're saying with the spinoffs, but it's like, they still had a way to convince Soldier Boy to do this, especially after him choking him out and putting him back. Yeah, and then like them finding out that he's back in the tank, and it's just like opening up and be like, all right, finally, are you ready to take him down? And like they'd be like, yeah.
And then they do it. Yeah, and then they take him down and he survives anyway, right? Like so like he could have been the one to do it. I didn't think they need to recreate it either. Like I thought that they could have just done it that way.
I'm just like really mad at the Soldier Boy ending. Like that was as soon as I heard that he wasn't going to be in the final episode, I was like, then why did you put him in here? Like, what was the point? Like, you just wasted him. And I understand, like, I wanted Queen Maeve to be in there, like, really badly. But, like, when you read about, like, the actor, like, retired from acting and, like, just didn't have time to go do that, I understand that. That's fine. But to not mention Maeve at all, like, even just, like, you can have the character in it and not see the character.
Well, they kind of mentioned her when she says, don't meet your heroes. Because remember in season 1, that was Starlight's hero.
Yeah.
And she told her to blow, like get lost, basically.
Yeah.
But, yeah,
but there is a way to, like,
again, there's a lot
stuff.
of things. Like, you can make it a 2-hour finale. You can make it a whole other season. And a lot of these things that a lot of people are feeling, a lot of things we talked about in this podcast are kind of like, they're taken care of, you know, they're addressed. That's the word I was looking for. They're addressed.
Yeah.
Like all these problems we see are addressed if they just go extend a little bit. I don't know if they had to end at 5 or if they're just like, all right, we're doing 5, that's it. But there could have been a little bit of an extension and it wouldn't have felt as rushed because it felt like they were 2 seasons into 1.
Yeah, and I even thought like they could do this season and then do a final episode as like another season, like for the next, like film it like it's a movie and it just comes out as an episode. And that's
that's what I was thinking too. So I heard that it was going to be like a movie released in theaters, and I guess the last episode was released in select theaters.
Yeah, it was.
Feel bad for anybody that went to go watch it.
I know.
You just watched it online. You can watch it on Amazon, like whatever. Like anybody that knows that episode 8 of The Boys is in theaters has Amazon. You know what I mean? Like there's no one out there that's like, oh, I can't watch the last episode. Like, no, if you've seen the other 7, you could see 8. So why did you go to the theater to watch it? That doesn't make any sense. You probably paid $15 when you already are paying. Anyway, besides the point.
Yeah.
They could have made it like 8 episodes and then made a final movie to wrap it all up. And I think that would have been like, that should have been what they did.
Yeah. And because they could have slowed down the last.
Yeah. They could have probably would have came back out for a movie. It's just a quick in and out done.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like, she shoots 5 minutes of a scene, not even. And
paid a lot more. 5 minutes of a scene,
and they could have slowed down the story in the final season. Like they could have slowed it down, like you said. After like episode 6 or 5, it just flew,
cranks up to fast forward. You take those last like 3 episodes, that storyline, you kind of spread it out a little more. It gets probably to like episode 7 or 6.5. That's all the movie. So now you have 2.5 episodes to work on that other stuff that we're talking about. Work on some of the things that need to be addressed, some of the things that were sped up, some of the things, all that can be worked on in 2.5 episodes because 2.5 episodes worth of storyline is now in this 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's
my thing is also I get because they set it up that like the ocean animals are going to kill the deep. Like they set that up pretty easy. Homelander should have killed the deep. Like Homelander should have just took him out.
Death also like wasn't like, as satisfying as I wish it would have
because
been.
Annie just kicks him into the water and that's what kills him.
That's it. That's the end of it. He just gets killed by all the fish and stuff like that. It was so stupid. I didn't like when he killed Black Noir. I thought that even felt weirdly rushed. I don't know how, but it did. Like it didn't feel like he should have just killed him in that moment. It felt like
when Homelander killed the first Black Noir, this would have been the perfect time for them to put in the clone of Homelander in that suit and just had that run out, and then him showing up at the end. Like, it would have been perfect if we just heard about Black Noir doing stuff and like not following what Homelander was saying to do, and he was just doing his own thing. And then at the end, he comes in and then he takes off the mask and it's another Homelander. Like, that would have been so much more interesting, so much more of a twist to everything. And then they wanted to go the funny route where it was an actor playing Noir, and then fucking the Deep kills him. Like, that's so
what I mean.
lame.
Like, it didn't feel right. Like, when the Deep killed him, it just didn't feel like
in their podcast studio. Out of all places, like, he just kills him. Like, you don't use your powers of the ocean to kill him. No, you strangle him and shove a knife up his head.
Yeah, stupid podcast studio. I guess before we wrap, we could talk about some of the more positive things. We already talked about Anthony Starr's performance. Even in those last couple episodes were so good. The end, we talked a little bit about the ending with Huey and Butcher, just kind of comparing it to the comic. I liked how that whole thing went.
Yes.
When the dog dies, I was like, all right. Like, it was like, yeah, the dog's not going to die too. They needed to do it, right? Like, they needed to get him pushed over that edge. I did like that as well. I thought that was really, really well done. The emotional payoff was good. You felt the moment, which is like what you needed. You needed to feel that moment. It was full circle, right? It was like all the way back to the beginning in the shop, which at the end you see he reopens that electronics shop.
Yeah, that was big Starlight. For me, because I really like to think that Huey just kind of works on going back to a normal life after what we see from all these years of him just being within, because he's not a character. Huey's character is not built for like all this gore and murder and devastation. And to get him finally back to the old electronics shop and that he owns it and he's just trying to just live a normal life, especially when the president calls him and asks him if he wants to be the head of the
Soup's defense agency.
And he's like, sorry, I got to pass, because like, I just want to live a normal life. But also he's letting Starlight go and be Starlight.
He's a superhero. Yeah.
That's fine, because that's
pregnant.
That also, that's a little weird, but it also is Huey, because he was such a huge fan of the Soups in the beginning. Like, he was a super fan of the Soups. Like, he loved watching Vought superheroes go and save the world. He had no idea how corrupt it was, but like, his innocence is coming back a little bit because he's letting his girlfriend go and be a superhero, even though she's pregnant. But he's trying to mold himself back into the Huey that he once was before everything went to shit. And I agree with you. I think the ending with Huey and Butcher was a very good payoff. I was very happy with that ending.
And Starlight, before she goes off and does whatever she's going to do, they're standing on the sidewalk from episode 1 where
his first girlfriend died,
gets annihilated, and there's the kid's name is her name. I don't know. I can't think of it off the top of my head here, but they named the kid after her. So like, it's like a lot of full circle moments there. Yeah. I know I said I wanted to end with some positive parts, but there was 2 things. They're kind of one, but there's 2 things. One, wasn't the whole point of getting the new the V1 because the Soups die eventually or something like that?
So the V1 is the only thing that the virus didn't affect. So if you had V1 in your system, the virus that they created didn't affect it.
So why was it so important to get Kimiko and Starlight V1 as well?
Because if
Remember
they released
it was?
Yeah, because Butcher wanted to release it everywhere, and they just didn't want Kimiko and Starlight to die.
Got it. So the second one I got is she at parts is like at ends with her powers. Starlight, she hates her powers. Why is Kimiko run away? Why isn't Kimiko taking away people's powers that don't want it? people that were forced into it, things like that. Why don't we have somebody that's doing that? Now we know how to do it, which I'm sure in a spinoff is going to come up where they now know the solution to have other soups have that power to get rid of other soup powers. I could have sworn that she would also. I don't. First of all, two things. I could have sworn that she was going to end up losing her powers because she had all these indifferences. She didn't want it. She wanted normal life, and they were about to have a normal life with Huey. I thought maybe she would give her powers as well. She doesn't. She's a superhero. Whatever. The other one, I don't think Ryan lost his powers. I think Ryan in spinoffs, we're gonna see that he still has his powers.
Yeah, I don't think it was really weird because they didn't kind of say anything to that because Butcher lost his powers, and they made it. They did something quick to show that he didn't have his powers anymore.
Well, he got shot and died.
Yeah, that. But yeah, I don't know if he lost his powers or not. It was kind of like left open, and I think that's why they want to do something where he probably does have his powers. But yeah, getting the V1 and all of that was a very big letdown to me. Like that whole storyline.
Yeah, the whole thing was a letdown. Like the storyline, it doesn't even go with the V1. It literally goes back to the virus meant nothing.
Yeah.
Like the V1 story might have been disappointing. The whole reason all of that is disappointing is because for the first 6 episodes of the 8, the virus was the most important thing. And then all of a sudden it's useless because now they find out about V1. They spend an entire episode trying to find it. And then he gets the V1 in episode 7 or episode 8 or whatever. Like it made the whole virus useless. So that's why a lot of this stuff, I think overall for that last season where everyone's like, it felt rushed, not paid off. I think all those feelings come back to they spent all this time building up the V1, like the virus. It's so important. They're testing it on this. They're testing it on that.
Yeah.
They built it up to this thing. Now they did say the V1 doesn't work on Soldier Boy when they find out he's still alive, like that whole thing. But they spent all this time building up this virus for it to literally pay nothing at the end.
Yeah.
He doesn't go through with it in the building. It doesn't kill any of the main villains. It doesn't kill Homelander. It doesn't get released by accident. Like nothing. Yep. Like that would have been a perfect time for Starlight, Kimiko, one of them to end up dying because they were trying to get it to Butcher and it gets opened on them instead. And now they're gone. Like that would have been like, whoa, that's crazy. But it literally ends up meaning it just kills the Rock guy and that's it. Everyone else survives. And then it never comes back. And I feel like that's actually the main reason why we felt so disappointed at the end of the day with the entire thing, because that one thing had such a letdown. And for 6 episodes, we're being talked about how important this is, how Ryan's going to get it in front of Homelander and they're going to open it up and all this other stuff. And then it doesn't matter at all. It has no use whatsoever at the end of the day.
Yeah. The funny thing is, yeah, and I agree with you. I think it was just a big waste of time because it was rushed.
Huge waste of time.
But that's
why I think it felt rushed, though. That's what I'm saying. It felt rushed because for 6 episodes, we're told this one thing, and then for 2 episodes, it's gone, doesn't mean anything, and now this other thing is the most important thing ever. But it's only for 2 episodes.
Yeah.
If the V1 is told that it can get past the virus in episode 4 instead of 5 or 6 or whatever it was, you're thinking completely different of the whole thing. It doesn't feel as rushed. Like you're like, oh, like, because for 4 episodes, they're talking about how they need this virus, but now they realize, oh, if he just gets this, it's over. Now for the rest of the season, for 4 episodes, they're talking about trying to beat him to. So now when they're like, we need to get to him before the V1 gets to him, we need to get him the virus before that. Even if the virus isn't used, it still doesn't feel as much of a letdown because it was only 4 episodes. It was so important. Yeah. The other 4 episodes, it was no longer as important.
Yeah.
But they made it important for almost the entire season for it to literally mean nothing at the end of the day.
Yeah, it was a second thought at the end in the final.
That's why I felt so I don't know if it actually was rushed, but it feels so rushed because they completely changed the importance of the main piece of the last season more than halfway through the season to where it doesn't even pay off to kill somebody in their own crew at the end of the day. So
I think my like last thoughts are one that the actor who plays Huey, Jack Quaid.
Yep.
I always forget his dad is Dennis Quaid.
Dennis Quaid. Jack Quaid will be at Dallas Fan Expo.
Oh,
this
fun.
Summer.
And then who he just got married to, Claudia Doumit. Do you know who she is?
Claudia Doumit?
Yeah.
Maybe.
She played Victoria Newman in The Boys. She was the one who blew up everyone's head.
I did know that.
Yeah. And I always and I saw a tweet like, oh, how happy it is that these two co-stars got married and they can watch The Boys together. And then someone tweeted, yeah, he's getting his head blown off every night. I was like, oh, Twitter, you did it again. X, Twitter, you did it again. X, you did it again.
You did it before you didn't. You did it before you didn't, because X is a tough place right now. But anyway, that's the end of The Boys. It's over. No more talking about it.
We're done.
It's gone. And we're done.
We're done.
It's all over.
We're done.
You can
what
go back
do we talk about now?
Other things. We do our Archer rewatch.
There we go. Yes, I want to do that
Archer
so badly.
rewatch.
It's on Tubi.
Is it on Tubi?
Yep.
FX,
all seasons
FX
are on Tubi.
That's interesting. That's interesting. Well, it's on
Yeah,
Tubi.
they have a couple FX shows on there.
Huh. Interesting. Good for them. Anyway, it's on Tubi. Thank you guys for listening to Sketching Up. You can follow us on social media at Sketching Up Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook. You can also subscribe to the podcast on YouTube at Sketching Up Podcast, or wherever you get your podcast, whether that's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or wherever you're going to get it. Again, please, if you're in the Houston area, George R. Brown Convention Center, Sunday, 4:15 p.m. on the podcast stage. I'll be giving a panel for Mad Props. It should be a really good time. Saturday, I actually may do a Mad Props live from a booth. Still trying to be confirmed. Fortunately, there's only one day, but still trying to be confirmed. The guest is really cool. I'm not going to announce it until I know what's going on there, but either way, there will be a new Mad Props with a really cool guest next week. So that's awesome. It's big for this show as well. So stay tuned to Mad Props as well. And that's signing off for the boys, signing off for Sketching Up, and signing off for me. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
See you later.
Peace.
Goodbye.